They are haunting these photographs. Faces frozen in time, young and full of life, now stilled by an unspeakable act of barbarity. They are the Hazara students, victims of a targeted bombing at the Kaaj Education Center in Kabul. Each image is a searing indictment, a testament to the vulnerability of innocence in the face of unmitigated hate. Their eyes, wide with the thirst for knowledge, now stare out at us from beyond the grave, a silent plea for justice. These photographs are not mere snapshots of a tragedy. They are windows into the soul of a people besieged. They speak volumes of the resilience and the spirit of the Hazara community. The world must not forget the faces of these students, their stories, their aspirations. They are a symbol of hope extinguished, a potent reminder of the fragility of peace. October 2022, Kabul, Afghanistan. A nondescript building, bustling with activity, a beacon of hope amidst the ruins. The Kaaj Education Center, a sanctuary for Hazara students. Then the explosion. A deafening roar, a blinding flash, chaos. Dust and debris choked the air, screams pierced the silence. Over 60 students, mostly young women, were killed. Their crime? Their ethnicity, their pursuit of education. The Taliban denied involvement, but the Hazara community knew the truth. The Kaaj bombing was a continuation of persecution against the Hazara people. The Hazaras have been persecuted for over a century. Their distinct physical features, their faith, their very existence, have marked them as different, as outsiders, as targets for discrimination, violence, and genocide. From the mass killings under the rule of Abdur Rahman Khan in the late 19th century to the Taliban's reign of terror in the 1990s, the Hazaras have endured unimaginable suffering. The systematic nature of these atrocities, the deliberate targeting of civilians, the intent to eradicate a people and their culture, all point to a chilling truth. The Hazaras are victims of an ongoing genocide. The world may choose to turn a blind eye, to label it as sectarian violence or a consequence of war, but the evidence is undeniable. The Hazaras are being systematically wiped out, their history erased, their voices silenced. Among the victims of the Kaaj attack were young women like Marzieh, a bright and determined student. She had overcome countless obstacles to pursue her education. Her story, tragically cut short, is a painful reminder of the human cost of this conflict. Ahmad, a talented artist, found solace in his paintings. He saw education as a weapon against ignorance. But his dreams were brutally extinguished. These were not just statistics. They were sons and daughters, friends and classmates. They were the future of their community. Section 5. The world's deafening silence. In the aftermath of the Kaaj attack, there were expressions of condemnation, calls for investigations and promises of aid. But these words ring hollow in the face of continued inaction. The world has failed the Hazaras before, and it continues to fail them now. The silence of the international community is, well, deafening. Where is the outrage? Where is the demand for accountability? Where is the concerted effort to protect this vulnerable community from further atrocities? The world stood by as the Rohingya were persecuted in Myanmar, as the Uyghurs were targeted in China, and now as the Hazaras face extermination in Afghanistan. How many more lives must be lost before the world wakes up to the reality of this genocide? Section 6. Erasing Identity. The Sinister Aim of Genocide. Genocide is not just about physical extermination, it's about erasing a people's identity, their culture, their very existence from the annals of history. It's about silencing their voices, denying their humanity, and rewriting the narrative to suit the oppressor. The attacks on education centers are not random acts of violence. They are a calculated strategy to cripple the Hazara community from within, to rob them of their future leaders, thinkers, and artists. By targeting educational institutions, the perpetrators aim to create a generation steeped in ignorance, deprived of the tools to challenge the status quo, to fight for their rights, to preserve their heritage. This is a slow and insidious form of genocide, one that seeks to extinguish hope and crush the spirit of a people. Section 7. Beyond the Headlines. Humanizing the Statistics. It is easy to become desensitized to the constant barrage of news about conflict and suffering. Numbers lose their impact, headlines blend together, and the human cost of these tragedies fades into the background. It is imperative that we look beyond the statistics, beyond the headlines, and see the individual faces, hear the individual stories, and feel the individual pain of those affected. We must remember that behind every casualty figure, there is a grieving family, a community shattered, a future stolen. We must resist the urge to turn away from the uncomfortable truths, to distance ourselves from the suffering of others. For it is in our shared humanity that we find the empathy, the compassion, and the resolve to act. Section 8. A Call to Conscience. Breaking the Silence. The time for silence is over. The world can no longer afford to be bystanders. We must demand accountability from those in power. Pressure our governments to take action. Provide safe passage for refugees and hold perpetrators accountable. Support education, tolerance, and peace building. Amplify Hazara voices and share their stories. Challenge dehumanizing narratives. Use our platforms to shine a light on this genocide. Demand justice for the victims. Section 9. Seeds of Hope. Education as empowerment. Even in the face of unimaginable adversity, the Hazara people cling to hope. They understand that education is the key to breaking the cycle of violence, to building a brighter future for their community. The attack on the Kaaj Education Center, while a devastating blow, has only strengthened their resolve to ensure that the sacrifices of their loved ones were not in vain. The international community must support the Hazaras' thirst for knowledge. We must invest in educational initiatives, provide scholarships and learning opportunities, and create safe spaces where Hazara students can pursue their dreams without fear. By empowering them through education, we not only honor the memory of those we have lost, but also sow the seeds for a more just and equitable future.
Hey, you made it to the end. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. See you next time.